Move on to question 5. Again, we've touched on this earlier. How can we support small, local and independent shops? We've certainly got some information coming out as to the sort of legal issues surrounding that, but I think it was Hugh also raised a point about looking for affordable retail space and the appropriateness or otherwise of that. Did anyone want to make any further comment on that?
Rent is. This to me picks up on 7. What about vacant shops? The comment from the gentleman in the back behind me about cultural activities, and if you want to get small, local, independent people in, sometimes they can't afford to pay the rents, which are the comparable rents in the area, and it frustrates me sometimes when I see in my area premises which stay empty for a very long period of time, not because there isn't somebody who would want to rent a shop very close to Piccadilly Circus or very close to Regent Street, but because the rent level is one which is outside the reach of many of the independent people, the people who might bring in cultural activities. And I know there is a problem about comparables. People are worried that if they agree in one place a rent that's a little bit below the others, that will set a bad comparable on further rent reviews and so on. But I think if people really want to support the independents, then that's one of the advantages of some of the big estates like Haldewald and stuff. They've been able occasionally to take a view on the rent level which they will charge, at least at the start of a lease, so that a small and an independent business can get started.
Okay, thank you. We've got Inwick here first, please.
Just very briefly, there's some very exciting proposals being drawn up by Portman at the moment on what they've termed One Street Back, sort of north of Oxford Street, and looking at ways in which smaller shops can flourish there. And I think what the council can do over and above the planning side is to make sure the public realm is absolutely top-notch and really invest in making sure that the investment comes through from the retailers because of that.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Connell.
Having spent most of my career as a retail logistics guy, I suppose at some point I need to talk about trucks and sheds, and this seems an appropriate point. The wider point is to make sure that somewhere within our planning policy we are reflecting on the fact that in order for any retail area to thrive, we need to make adequate provision for deliveries to come in and out. And certainly we've got locations in the city at the moment where we've got conflicts between residents, retailers and planners over things which have already been given consent, but where we don't seem to have the ability to actually get the products into stores without people's cars being damaged and all sorts of things like that. And it plays particularly with this question on 5A, because in thinking about small retailers, and particularly sort of Harrow Road, Westbourne Grove, those kind of areas, they're much more likely to have deliveries coming in perhaps sort of in white van man type, perhaps independent traders who are buying from other independent traders or who are having deliveries in a round robin. And for those, we need to make sure we've got policies linked up with our transport policies. So perhaps there are times a day when people actually can take in deliveries through the front of a small store, rather than obviously along Oxford Street where we've got large rear deliveries for larger vehicles.
Okay, thank you. Councillor.
I just want to pick up on some of that because it isn't directly planning, but the issue of parking for Harrow Road obviously is where my concern really is. The issue of parking is a serious one, and the delivery issue as well. You can't, you have a problem if you don't have a livery on your van in relation to what you're regarded as doing. The issue of rents is a crucial one. We have it's complicated by the fact that there's a multitude of land laws for our smaller shop units. We have been talking in some time past, but hopefully we can pick it up again, of Westminster's very good at awarding things. So I'm hoping that they may get up some sort of good landlord award so that we can actually be thinking about encouraging this multitude of landlords to do something good with their retail outlets, just to be part of the regeneration of that area. And it obviously goes beyond planning, but it needs knitting together.
Okay. Thank you.
It's interesting, just following up your comments about the Harrow Road. I'm sure you're aware there's a shopfront scheme actually for that area. I'm not too sure of the details, but it's something that local shopkeepers can apply for to actually improve the appearance of their own shopfronts. So I'm, again, not too sure of the details, but they will receive some kind of funding if they can maintain an attractive frontage, which obviously brings the area up and encourage more people in. That's the idea behind that. Thank you.